Hi, I'm Angela Edgel, and I'll be speaking with you today while you're watching this video. This video is a warm-up routine that I created to prevent ACL injuries. I created this video because I recently tore my own ACL, and I don't want any athlete to experience the terrible, painstaking process that it takes to return to the game that you love. This warm-up routine that you are watching is very much inspired by the PEP program and the FIFA 11 Plus program that is being implemented around the world today. It's had very high success rates. I just wanted to try to combine the two and add some of my own exercises to make it a little bit more personal and something my own team would use, which in fact is what I plan on doing in the fall of this year. I'm going to implement this routine for my own soccer team. What you have been watching as I've been speaking is a fast version of this routine, and now I'm going to go more in depth about each exercise. First, set up the field as shown. This is the same setup as FIFA 11 Plus and PEP. Also, as a disclaimer, as I'm explaining these exercises, it's in a hallway because I didn't have the space, but just imagine these exercises on a soccer field. Once you have your field set up, you can begin. Start by jogging up and back twice. Jog on the inside of the cones, down, and then round the cone and come on the outside of the cones on the way back. You really want to focus on keeping your upper body straight. Your hips and knees and feet should be aligned, and no buckling of the knees. That's when your knee goes inward. I'm going to continuously repeat that because that is the biggest part of this routine. You do not want to buckle your knees. Next, you're going to shuffle up and back. You're going to start on the inside of the cones, shuffling, facing your partner, round the cone, and always face your partner when you come back. When you're shuffling, make sure you don't buckle your knees inward. Now, see how Sarah has her knees straight up and down? Make sure you're keeping the weight on the balls of your toes, and also make sure that you're keeping your knees and hips slightly bent. Next, you are going to shuffle around your partner, but you do not want to do what Sarah is doing and turn your hips. You would like to keep your hips straight on. Also, you would like to make sure that your hips and knees are slightly bent, the weight is on the balls of your feet, and your knees are not buckling. You will jog to a cone, shuffle towards your partner, around your partner, and then return to the cone you started at. You will do this until you are at the end and jog back. Now you're going to basically do the exact same thing, but instead of a shuffle and a circle around, you're going to do a shuffle and a shoulder bump. Now watch Sarah in the pink shirt. She does it well. As she goes up, she comes up, and then she lands with both feet, with her hips and knees bent, her knees are parallel, and she's on her toes. But on the other hand, Jalissa, who's in the blue shirt, buckles her knee inward, which is not what we want. It's her right knee. Ready? There. She buckles her knee in, which is not what we want and can cause ACL injuries, so avoid that at all costs. To complete the running exercises of part 1, you're going to jog forward 2 cones and backward 1 cone. You're going to make sure your upper body is straight, your hips, knees, and feet are aligned, and you have no buckling knees. You're then going to jog back and go backwards the entire way and jog back to the start. Now you are going to start loosening your muscles a little bit by first completing the open the gate exercise. But as you are doing that, you would like to make sure that you are keeping your pelvis horizontal and your core still. You also want to make sure that your hip, knee, and foot are aligned, and that supporting foot as your one leg is opening the gate, you want to make sure is not bending inward, which Sarah is not doing in this image. You will perform the open the gate exercise at every cone, jogging between each cone. You will jog back and do the exact same thing, except this time you will close the gate instead of opening the gate. You would like to keep the same things in mind. For example, keep your pelvis horizontal, your core still, your hip, knee, and foot aligned, and your supporting legs straight and not buckling inward. Like we've said, that is the worst for your ACL. You're going to do the close the gate at each cone and then come back to the start. To continue loosening your muscles, you're going to do walking lunges. This is just a side view so you can see their form, which is relatively perfect. Both of their leading legs are at a 90-degree angle. You would like to focus on that. Also, both of their pelvises are horizontal and their upper bodies are straight. That is perfect form. You do not want to let your knee bend over your toes, and you do not want to bend your upper body. To complete part 1, you are going to finish off with Frankenstein kicks. This is going to stretch your hamstring. You want to make sure that you are keeping your hip, knee, and foot aligned of both your kicking foot and your supporting foot. Also, keep your upper body stable and facing forward. Do not overkick, and that supporting foot should be slightly bent and not buckling inward. This will complete part 1, and now you will be doing the other exercises to strengthen your muscles to prevent ACL injuries. You are going to begin part 2 with the Drinky Bird exercise. This exercise strengthens your hamstrings. To start the exercise, you are going to have a partner sit or hold down your feet so they cannot come off the ground. That is very important that you keep your lower legs on the ground. You're going to tighten your glutes and your core and slowly lower yourself down towards the ground with your hamstrings until you can no longer go. When you can no longer go, you are going to use the push-up motion and push yourself back up. You are going to do this about 5 to 10 times, and you are going to make sure that you do not bend your waist and keep your upper body straight. Also, do not tilt your head backwards. After Drinky Birds, you're going to do single-legged toe raises. As you can see right now, you're looking at a still image of what your legs should look like as you're doing the single-leg toe raises. You can see that Jalissa's knee that she is using is not inside of her toes, but it's in line with her toes, showing that her knees are not buckling inward. Also, the leg she is not using is up in the air in front of her, making a 90-degree angle at her hip. That is what you want. You also want to keep your upper body straight, which is what you kind of can see in that picture. Now you are looking at the incorrect way to do a single-legged toe raise. Sarah's knee is slightly on the inside of her toe, her left leg. It's kind of hard to tell, but there is that slight buckling action going on there. Also, the leg that she's not using is not at a 90-degree angle in front of her, which isn't going to strengthen her calves, which is what we want. Now you're going to see the correct way to do a single-legged toe raise. You want 20 on each leg. Next, you will work on your core strength through the plank. You will hold the plank for 30 to 45 seconds. Right now, Jalissa is correctly holding the plank. She has a flat back, which is what you want. Now she started to curve her back, but she realized her mistake and fixed it. You want that flat back, that tight core, that head down. You want all 3 of those as correct form. These are the 3 incorrect forms. The raised buttocks. You do not want that. You will not feel it in your core. Next, do not tilt your head back because that is very bad form for a plank. And third, do not arc your back because you are not tightening your core, which is the point of this exercise. Now, gather a partner so you can do the single-legged stance with ball toss. As you can see, the hip, knee, and foot of the supporting foot of the girls is in a straight line. Also, their hip and knee are slightly bent. This may sound contradicting, but that straight line is to keep you from letting your knee buckle inward, which is dangerous for the ACL. Also, their weight is on the balls of their toes, which is what you want. Also, their upper body is stable, and lastly, their pelvis is not tilting to the side. All of these are some things that you should keep in mind as you are doing this exercise. Next, you will be doing jumping squats, and Jalissa is doing a fine job of showing a jumping squat, except her toes are pointed outward more than you would want, and she's landing on her heels, but you would rather land on your toes when you're doing a jumping squat. This image shows when you land that your hips, knees, and feet should be in 2 parallel lines, like this. This image shows that you're on your toes as you are jumping and landing, that your knees are not extending over your feet, and you are bending at the hips, knees, and ankles. All of these are important when doing a jumping squat. The final exercise of part 2 is the side-to-side jumps. As you can see, Sarah is making leaping jumps from side to side, making sure her knees are not buckling inward. You can tell that she is holding her knees steady and her knee and her toe are in line with each other. You want to stay on your toes as you are doing this exercise. You do not want to turn your upper body, and you want to keep your hips, knees, and ankles slightly bent. Sarah is doing all of these things and is showing a proper side-to-side jump. Finally, part 3 is 3 more intense running exercises. First, you will do skips. These girls are properly skipping. They are keeping their upper body straight and they are landing on their toes with their knees slightly bent. Also, they are not letting that knee that they're landing on to cave in, which is very important for the ACL because that cave in can cause a tear. Next, do headers. Headers are almost the same thing as skips, you're just going for a ball instead of trying to get height with your knee. The same things apply. Make sure your upper body is straight, and as you can see with Sarah, she is landing on her toes and her knees are slightly bent as she's landing, which is a perfect way to land a jump. This is what you want to keep your ACL from tearing. Finally, run at a 75 to 80% speed with your upper body straight and your hips, knees, and feet aligned. Here's the full warm-up routine. It's speeded up, obviously. It has all the exercises in it. I hope you can recognize these exercises and know how to do them properly. I stress that you strengthen your hamstrings, your quads, your calves, and do not let your knee buckle in because tearing an ACL is not fun and it is a painstaking process to come back to the sport that you love. And I hope that you can use this warm-up routine for your own team, for your own sport, and just prevent injuries. Also, I'd like to cite the FIFA 11 Plus program and the PEP program because they inspired me with their exercises to create my own warm-up routine, and they just gave me some great ideas and gave me some great information. I also want to thank Sarah, Jalissa, and Aaron for being in my video, and of course I would like to thank Mr. Slee and my parents for helping me through this project. I really hope this project can be helpful and the exercises are useful and preventative because I don't want anyone else to go through the pain of tearing their ACL. I really hope this video was helpful and I really hope you have a great day.